Hey, hey. Okay, so today, last week we talked about that, you don't have to be a business entity that is about products and services in order to be a brand. We talked about how a persona can be a brand. Well, I want to talk about a particular type of persona this time around. We're going to talk about actors and entertainers because we know those people to be brands. And it's not always obvious of what the brand is that's being conveyed. But when you think about it, you recognize it. So let's talk about this a little bit. So there's so many successful actors that have developed their own personal brand to help distinguish themselves in a really competitive industry, and it's kind of the thing that you have to do, right? And an actor's brand might be based on their unique talents. It might be, their personality or appearance, and maybe even from developing a certain go-to for the types of performances that they've excelled at, right? That they've already been recognized for. For example, they might be known for comedic timing or their ability to play really intense dramatic roles. Or it might be about like their charm and they're very charismatic. They might also be associated with a particular genre or style of acting, like action movies or period dramas. And building a brand as an actor really gets into creating a consistent image and reputation that resonates with the audiences and, of course, the casting directors. So developing that rep can involve shaping really distinctive styles, and then working on projects that align with that style that they've really worked to develop and be recognized for. So usually what you'll see happening is they start to just leverage everything around them to promote that and support that. So they might use their social media to promote work and to promote the work that they have done, and that's recognized, or to promote things that they're working on. And that's really a great way to build a connection with their fan base. At the end of the day, an actor's brand is a reflection of their strengths, their values, their aspirations as a performer. Just like a traditional business is, their brand is a reflection of their strengths, their values, and their aspirations, like, their end goals. So it can play a really, really important role in the trajectory of their career. And that's why it's really important to know who you are, think ahead, like what is it, where do I see myself, where do I want to be, and be strategic about it. It's an art, but when you're looking to have a sustainable living with it, it's a business strategy as well. So what makes it connect for us is when we think about examples. So some examples of actors who have done a really great job at being connected to who they are and not wavering from it, right? Regina King. Oh, hey, if you don't love Regina King, we can't be friends. Regina King is known for her versatility as an actress, and as well as her advocacy in diversity representation in Hollywood. And she's been spreading her wings and getting busy behind the camera and making sure that there are stories that are being told that are a reflection of diverse history of the African American culture. And she's getting a lot of support with that. And she still maintains her privacy. And so I think she's a great example of how you can have a brand and it's not about stunts or, hey, look at me over here, look at me over there. And she's really just grounded in the work that she's doing. And I think that is really felt when you pay attention to the work that she's creating and how she conducts herself as a human being. Ryan Reynolds. I love this guy. He's known for his quick wit and his sarcastic sense of humor, and really became known for that in one of the many superhero roles that he's played, but Deadpool. And he uses that. It's not hard to believe that in his everyday life, there's a bit of that showing up, right? And there's nothing wrong with connecting to the elements of who you are and having that show up in the work that you do. In my opinion, that's the best thing that you can do. And it's okay to down the road explore other things and show off the more multifaceted side of yourself. But there's really absolutely nothing wrong with saying, this is what I love, this is what I'm good at, this is who I am, and running with it if it works for you. And he's also a bit of a business mogul. And we see that in the work that he's doing, developing the two brands that I know about, the Aviation Gin and Mint Mobile is what we see him on the commercials for. Actor, entertainer, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who I knew firstly as a wrestler, because me and my brother used to go hardcore on WWE, WWF, and being entertained on a regular basis by the personas, the characters that show up in that world. And Dwayne has done a really great job at transitioning that talent into acting roles in the action industry. And so you know him to be the charismatic, fun, athletic guy who is, he's a motivational speaker as well. He's always speaking to inspiration and empowerment. And he's the tough guy, He's done a great job at really grabbing hold of that and making it the grounding for who he is. Tracee Ellis Ross, comedian, business lady. She's known first and foremost for her comedic talent and her relatable personality. She just comes across so authentically, as well as her advocacy of body positivity and self-love. I really love how she presents herself, and she uses social media a lot to build that connection. Samuel L. Jackson is one for the books. Talk about a legacy. He's known for a really commanding presence and a distinctive voice. We hear him even when we don't see him. And we really know him for his prolific roles in Quentin Tarantino films, and of course also in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But Samuel L. Jackson has a history that goes back to theater and some New York grounded roots. And there's nobody who doesn't find themselves cracking a smile, because he can be just as serious as he is funny, and sometimes it's both at the same time, and it will make you real uncomfortable, but that's his thing. And I love it. And then Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks started out as a hardcore comedian and really made a road for himself as this like affable and relatable personality for the world that he comes from, right? And he's talented in his comedic roles, in dramatic roles. It's funny when you watch someone's career grow. For me specifically, when they're starting as comedians, I get so excited about seeing that transition happen and then seeing them take on different types of roles and just grow. There's so many that we can name, but those are just a handful that when you think about it, it's like, yeah, when I think about that actor, I think about some really specific things, and that's their brand. That's, there's a feeling, there's you either smiling or you're like, oh, there's going to be some history in this, or this is going to be something that's really grounded, or, I'm going to feel like I know the story because I'm going to feel like I can relate to it. Or when it's done right, if there is a film or a performance that is something you haven't heard of and you find out they're affiliated with it, you look into it more. You're like, oh, you know what? I like him. Let me see what this is about. Or, you know what? That's my girl. Let me support. Let me see what this is about. And it's because they've built this brand. So that's all I got for you today. I felt like it was really appropriate to follow up on what it means to be a brand persona with some real life examples in the acting and entertainment space. And I hope that's helpful for you to think about. I have so much to say about the space of entertainment and performers for actors, musicians, just the creative doers, because I'm a big fan of just finding what you love and finding a way to make it a sustainable income where your work is life and life is work, and it's not a conflict in between. And it really does involve thinking about what you do as a business. And it should not take away from the spirit of who you are. And so I'm going to have a lot more to say about that to come in the very short future. So stick around, and I hope this was helpful for you. As usual, tell me what you're thinking in the comments. Let me know if this was helpful for you. If you have questions, if you have suggestions, if anything, light bulbs went off for you, I want to know about it. DM me directly. And of course, you can always connect with me at thecollectivelmg.com. See you next time.